Welcome to this week's episode of Colonial Sports Center. I'm Greg Sutton. Alongside of me is David Szymanski. We're going to cover everything from soccer to football tonight, and we're going to start off with a little bit of Robert Morris football. The Robert Morris football team kicked off their 2017 campaign against Dayton Flyers this past weekend here at Joe Walton Stadium. Let's roll the highlights. Here we're going to start off with Tucker Yinger Tucker Yinger fumbles and a recovery by Gerald Ferguson. Early shift in momentum. Let's see how that goes for the Colonials. Here we see a touchdown by Dayton. Kyle Caparos will connect to Matt Tunnicliffe on a beautiful pass here. As you'll see it in slow motion, he puts it up. Tunnicliffe goes up and gets it, and gets down in bounds to score 6 for the Flyers. Here into the second quarter, Jimmy Walker will attempt to go up the sideline, but he will give up an interception to the Flyers. Another shift in momentum yet again. This one not quite in Robert Morris's favor. Here we'll jump into Walker goes to the tight end Reggie Green for a completion with time running out in the second quarter. And now we'll see Nick Biseglia kicks a 28-yard field goal to put the Colonials on the board. The score now 10-3. Now we see Walker goes deep up the sideline to Taven Allison for a touchdown. And after this touchdown, Biseglia will put another point up on the board for the Colonials to tie the game at 10-10. What great focus by the quarterback, Jimmy Walker. All right, and now we're going to jump into the next highlight here in the fourth quarter as we see the Colonials with a giant stop on defense. This might be the momentum they needed to build up for the win this week. Now we see Cole Blake, who's in the interview later with Sam Anthony, go up the near sideline for a couple yards in the game. And now we'll see Nick Biseglia kick the game-winning field goal to put the Colonials up 13-3. But Dayton has a little bit left in them, but the Colonials will deny the pass and win the game 13-10 here on their first home appearance of the season at Joe Walton Stadium. After a total of the Colonials ran away with their first opening game since 2008, defeating the Dayton Flyers for the first time in 17 years. After each side only scored a touchdown apiece, the Colonials decided the fate of the game off of a 26-yard field goal by freshman Nick Biseglia in his first career game. In his debut, he scored a total of 7 points, which also makes him the highest scorer on the team this season. Robert Morris will travel to Youngstown State this weekend to face off against the Penguins.
Well, it took the team's best effort to upset the Dayton Flyers. 3 players were recognized by the Northeast Conference for their individual performances. Gerald Ferguson was named the NEC Defensive Player of the Week due to his 8 tackles and a fumble recovery. The defensive unit was able to hold the Flyers to just 10 points behind Gerald Ferguson. The other 2 awards were collected by players making their debut for the Colonials. Freshman wide receiver Taven Allison, who transferred from Eastern Michigan, received the honor of being named the Rookie of the Week after catching a 72-yard pass down the sideline to tie the game at 10 points. And the man of the game, Nick Biseglia, was named Special Teams Player of the Week after kicking the game-winning field goal to end the game. The last time the NEC recognized 3 Colonials in 1 week was in 2014. Having 2 rookies for the team already receiving these honors points towards a bright future. Look for continued production from these players for years to come.
After a strong showing in the NFL preseason with the Atlanta Falcons, Robert Morris alumni Marcellus Branch was named to the Falcons practice squad on Monday. He ended the preseason 4th on the team with 19 tackles, 9 of those being solo. Branch also has seen action in all 4 of the preseason games that Atlanta played in. At the end of his career at Robert Morris, he started 42 games, the most in Colonial football history. While in his senior year here at Robert Morris, he finished out the season with 71 tackles and 2 interceptions. Not only did he lead the Colonials for the most games ever played, he also became the first Colonial to return a blocked field goal for a touchdown. He went 63 yards to do so. Everyone here at the Colonial Sports Center would like to wish Marcellus Branch all the best in his professional career.
The football team has clearly begun the season on a high note. They've showed their potential for the upcoming season. The hope is that they can continue to play as well as they did in their first week. But with any contact sport, injuries can play a large role in how a season can go. Last season, Cole Blake tore his ACL and was sidelined for the rest of the season. He is now back and ready for another season on the field. Sam Anthony sat down with Cole to discuss his injury in this upcoming 2017 season.
Cole Blake, born and raised in Moon Township, Pennsylvania, is a prime example of what someone can accomplish if they're willing to do whatever it takes. Blake is returning to the field after missing the entire 2016 season due to a blow to the knee from his own teammate during spring practice.
I feel 100% ready to roll. I've done a lot of training, still kept up with the rehab over the summer. Just made sure everything was taken care of because it was my ultimate goal to be 100% and be better than I was before I got injured for the season.
I think Cole's just a special human being. He's an incredibly hard worker, very loyal, dedicated. I think he's the epitome of a team guy. He's going to sell out whatever it takes. He's going to go all in. He pushes all those around him. He performs well in the classroom. He's a goal-oriented guy. He's got a lot of those qualities that not only would a football team be excited about, but in a university as well.
I won't say it's unique, but consistency. Like, he's gonna get the same Cole every day. I know Cole's always gonna be on time. I know Cole's always gonna be one of the hardest workers. So I think he brings that every single day. So that's something that is contagious, and all the teammates have latched onto that.
When Blake went down during a simple team drill in the spring of 2016, Blake knew immediately of the severity of his injury and the circumstances that would follow.
I was just scared. I feel like it's every running back's nightmare to have your knee blown out. I didn't know for sure, obviously, but I've never had a pain like that. So it just scared me, really bad. Honestly, there's times when you're going through therapy and you can't get something and you keep trying, it keeps hurting. You're just like, am I ever gonna be able to get it back? Am I ever gonna be able to feel like I did? But I just put my faith in God and prayed every day and trusted my therapist, and I just had to trust the process because it's one of those things that's not gonna happen overnight.
Very unfortunate. I think it was the first padded practice this spring. Took an unfortunate hit and tore his knee. So it was a big blow to us. But hey, listen, this is as we say, we're kind of in love with a cruel game. It's about how you handle adversity. It's about how you adjust. It was unfortunate then, and just as this game goes, it's just part of football. But I thought Cole handled it well, and as disappointing as it was, he remained a big part of our offense.
Last year he didn't even play, but he was still very vocal. He was always at practices, always at games, always trying to encourage us. So for someone not even, given the opportunity to play this past year, he was someone that you can tell he's like a leader, someone people want to follow.
Blake's ability to overcome was born from a traumatic incident back when he was a child.
So I was 13 years old. I went dirt bike riding with my friend and their dad, and we were way back in the woods, and the chain popped off. So it was doing it all day. I knew the sprockets were worn down. So I kicked it into neutral, like I always do. Went to put the chain back on. Well, it wasn't in neutral, even though I thought it was. As soon as the chain caught on, just took my finger in. So then I got stuck because I killed the switch as soon as my finger went in. And then, I don't know, it took maybe 20, 30 minutes before we even got it back out. It was crazy. And my finger was just I had riding gloves on. So if I had to give you a picture of what it looked like, it was kind of just bent off to the side like that. We got to the ambulance way down at the bottom of the hill, and they hooked me up to the monitors and everything, and they're like, does this hurt, I'm like, yeah, a little bit, just a broken finger. And they're like, all right, well, can we call your mom or your guardian? And I was like, yeah. I handed them the phone. They started talking to my mom, and they were like, yeah, he has a serious trauma to his finger. We're looking at a shattered finger, possible amputation. And instantly my heart rate went up to 160 or 170, and I was just like, are you kidding me? This is crazy. I was freaking out. They had to calm me down. But yeah, it was wild. It was a crazy incident. I would have never dreamed that my finger would have got taken off.
But Cole has never let any of the obstacles, injuries, or hardships get in the way of his passions and living his life to the fullest.
I've always been a firm believer in you can do anything you put your mind to. One thing, so I used to play guitar growing up. I played violin and still do sometimes. So I wasn't able to play guitar anymore just because my finger's too short to get across the board. But I was still able to play violin. I was still able to play football, do things I love. So
He has taken the lessons taught to him through the trials and turbulence to be a leader both on and off the field.
I just want to fulfill my role as a player. Whatever I can do at my position, whether it be running back, whether it be special teams, whatever the coaches tell me, I'm going to do it. Whatever they feel, however they feel my abilities will help the team, and just utilize them. I just play at my max ability and whatever I can do to make the team better.
Nothing has ever been easy. The road has never been short. It has been a long, hard-fought battle, but Blake has always been able to overcome. This is Sam Anthony reporting for Colonial Sports Center.
Break, we'll be going off to the pitch to see how the men's and women's soccer clubs handle themselves in the past 2 games. Don't touch that dial.
We'll be right back.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average 4-legged homie, and then wham-bam minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high-five.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Back to Colonial Sports Center. 1 week ago today, the men's soccer team took on Canisius on the road in their 3rd game of the season. Let's see the film. Anyhow, the Colonials dropped the match to the Canisius Golden Griffins by a score of 4-3. The Griffins shared the scoring load evenly, with 4 different players scoring in their win. Corey McCurdy scored his 4th goal of the season in the 41st minute of the match. Filippo Tamburini answered 5 seconds later, leading the comeback for the Golden Griffins. Troy Brady had the game-winning goal in the overtime in the 91st minute. The Colonials would be on the field again this past Sunday.
The Robert Morris men's soccer team hosted the Marshall Thundering Herd on Sunday, looking for their first win of the season. Their last 2 games ended in overtime, and this contest would prove to come down to the wire as well. Would being back in Moon Township be enough to help the team finally close out a game? Let's see how things unfolded. Lewis Knight receives the pass from the corner. Off the left foot to the right, bar down. The Thundering Herd take a 1-0 lead early in the game. You'll see them celebrating here. and we'll get to see the highlight one more. He gets it nearly unstoppable. The Colonials wouldn't tie up the game until late in the game when Zach Sherman took a pass on the run and found the back of the net. They finally knotted things up at 1-1 just inside of the 10-minute mark. Could they finally close out a game? With just a minute to go, the Colonials made a big save, but the rebound goes off the head of a Marshall player into nearly an open net. There's the save, there's the head, and it's into the back of the net with almost no time for the Colonials to answer. The game could have gone either way, but the Thundering Herd made the big play at the end of the game. It was another close loss for the Colonials, with the final tally being the Thundering Herd's favor 2-1. The Colonials fall to a record of 0 wins and 4 losses on the season. Fortunately, it is still early in the year for the team and they have time to turn the season around. The question will be if they are able to address their current issues of closing games. Coach Dennison was asked about his team's inability to win close games. We've lost to St. Bonaventure. We were winning 2-0. We lost to Canisius. We were winning 3-0. We weren't very good last year, and I think they just mishandled the lead and threw it away. Today was good. We had to fight back. We showed good resilience in the second half. It was good.
The Women's Soccer Club took on Niagara on September 1st at the North Athletic Complex in Moon Township, PA. Let's roll the tape. So, here we see the Colonials versus the Purple Eagles. We're going to see a long free kick here from Madison Duncan, and we're going to see a little chest pass and a quick little dump pass to the left side of the net in order to put the RMU Women's Soccer Club up 1-0. There we see it again, and we're going to see it one more time from the goalie's perspective behind the net. We see the chest pass there and a quick little touch pass or a touch shot into the left side of the net. Same play as Robert Morris here on a free kick. We see another long pass with a header that bloops just over the hand of the goaltender, Julia Schmid, to tie the match 1-1. And Kelsey Lafferty passes in front of the net to Bailey Bicknell to sink the Eagles' talons into the Colonials for the win. A tough loss for the Colonials being so late in the game. You can see the disappointment on some of the players' faces. But it was a great attempt here off the knee, in front of the net, and into the back, tickling the twine there to put the Purple Eagles up 2-1. After Jane Schleicher struck early with her second goal of the season in the 5th minute of the match, it looked like that would be the goal that would have held up for the win. That was until Bailey Sullivan scored in the second half at the time mark of 64 minutes and 24 seconds. And Haley Bicknell sent in the dagger on a free kick in the final 10 minutes of play to send the Purple Eagles soaring home with the dub. The Colonials had a short 2-day break and then traveled to Howard to face off against the Bison. Let's charge on to the highlights.
The women's soccer team won by a goal, 3-2. Jane Schleicher scored the final 2 goals that proved to be the difference in the game, and Christina Kelly assisted each of them. Their record now stands at 2-4, having won 2 of their last 3 contests. Hopefully they can continue to build momentum in their next few games before they begin conference play on September 29th against the Bryant Bulldogs.
And when we come back, our very own Sam Anthony will be sitting down with 3 Colonial football players, all garnering weekly player honors after the win against Dayton.
I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born, and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
illness, you've got prediabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have prediabetes. Big time.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. I'm Sam Anthony, and here joining me today is 3 players from the football team here. We have Nick Biseglia, Gerald Ferguson, and Taven Allison. Thank you guys for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
So we're going to start off with you, Nick. You hit that game-winning field goal, 26-yarder, to put the Colonials over the top, their first win versus Dayton in 17 years. What was it like being part of such a special moment?
I mean, it's always good to beat a team that you haven't beaten in, especially such long as us, 17 years. Beating that streak, ending that streak, it's always a good thing for us.
So working through the summer, working through training camp, at what point did you know for sure that you were going to be the starting kicker?
Really, for me, it was honestly against Dayton. I always had that mentality that I'm a freshman, I got to win my spot, got to come out every day, be the best I can, outwork everybody else in my position, and I just kept that mentality.
So going into week 1, you know how important it is to get a really good start. What was going through your mind as Dayton, the game slowly approached?
Just don't mess up. Work on just know what I can do. Just be myself. Try not to be anybody else. Just trust in my ability.
Now, you've already done something that a lot of kickers have never done in their career, and that's hit a game-winning field goal right at the end of the game. So what's next for Nick Biseglia? What are your goals going into the season?
Yeah, truly, end of the season, honestly, we're going to try and want to get all NEC end of the season. But really just personal goal, game to game, just be perfect. Hit every field goal, hit every extra point. Good kickoffs every kickoff, so that's just personal goals.
Perfect. All right. Gerald, we're going to move on to you. And you forced a fumble on the very first drive against Dayton. That was a huge way for the defense to kind of make a statement to start. Take me through that very first play.
Pretty much, we just got lined up and ball snapped. So I had an eye on running back. Pretty much like overran the play. Good thing Chris Stanford was there like to clean up. And I looked over. Next minute, the ball was on the ground. Just hopped on it. Pretty much.
Awesome. So what was the game plan going into Dayton? You guys knew that they were going to be tough, but you also knew that their starting quarterback, Alex Jeske, was going to be out. So what kind of adjustments did you make?
Like, for the quarterback going down, it pretty much like gave the defense like weight off our shoulders because like he's a running quarterback, so we didn't have to worry about the quarterback running as much. So we pretty much just like not entirely threw away the game plan, but like we practiced like he was going to play, so we just kept the game plan the same.
Now, when you learned that Jeske wasn't going to play, did you guys really think that you really had a chance in this one?
Going into it, we already knew we had a chance. Cause like playing them 3 years, like we know like Dayton just stayed the same. Like none of their plays changed. It's just more like we got to be more aggressive than them, pretty much.
All right, and then we're gonna get to Taven over there on the end here. So you transferred here from Eastern Michigan. You're a redshirt freshman. What went into the decision to switch from Eastern Michigan to Robert Morris?
Honestly, I have to say it was Delano Madison. He's also from the city of Detroit, and he have a relationship with my cousin, so I talked to him before I came here, and then I came on the visit with Coach McVay, and I just liked the whole thing.
So what was Coach McVay telling you when you came to visit? What really caught your eye about Moon Township?
He said I could see the whole city of Pittsburgh from the arena on the field.
And you came in immediately. I mean, first game, 72-yard touchdown reception, and that really changed the game for Robert Morris. So I'm going to have you take me into that play. What was going on? Did you know you were going to get the ball the whole time, or was that kind of a last-second change on that, an audible?
I mean, Jimmy gave me the signal to run that route, and I just ran it to the best of my ability, and I ended up getting open by a few yards, and I seen the ball in the air, and I just went to go get it.
So what was going through your head when you were crossing that end zone?
This is my first collegiate touchdown, so it was a great feeling.
What did Coach Miller tell you once you got to the sideline?
He always told me in film and stuff, he said I can be as good as I want to be. And I went out there and I did everything he taught me how to do during training camp, and it paid off.
Perfect. Now, this is a question for all you guys. So, Robert Morris has already done something that they haven't done in a very long time, and that's beat the Dayton Flyers for the first time in 17 years. So after a really difficult season last year that you were there for, Gerald, what's different about this Robert Morris team this year?
It's basically like what Coach B always say, togetherness. Like, we all together. I feel like the last past 3 years, it's like being like split up as defense and offense as a separate group, but now it's just like we all gel together.
And yeah, you guys are heading into Youngstown State this weekend. They're ranked 6th in the nation. What's the mindset going in?
Mindset is, as a tough team, we just got to be tougher and outplay them.
Nick, what's the mindset for you as a kicker?
It's going to be loud, going to be big, going to be really my first experience in front of a crowd like that. So just really focus, tune up the fine points of my technique, just make sure I'm doing everything right.
All right. Well, hey, guys, thanks for coming on. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have, so thanks so much for joining us. And I'll just shake the distance there. All right. We're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, Greg and David are going to give you all the upcoming games for this weekend, so you're not going to want to miss that here on Colonial Sports Center.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. So, David, you want to run us through the upcoming games this weekend?
Yeah, Colonial Athletics has a lot going on this weekend. On Friday, the women's soccer team will take on Canisius. The volleyball team will travel to Siena. The men's soccer team will travel to Niagara. The football team, like Sam Anthony said in the interview, will be traveling to Youngstown State. The volleyball team will play against Navy at 11:30 in the morning. And on Sunday, the men's soccer team will be in action against Fairfield at 12 p.m.
That's going to be a big game on Saturday for the football team. It's going to be exciting. That's all of us. That's all for us here down in the studio. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in next week. I'm Greg Sutton, and that's David Szymanski.